Here's how I brainwashed myself to become rich in 4 years. One of my favorite sayings is that you become rich in your mind before you become rich in real life. When I first heard of people talking about manifestation, I honestly didn't really believe it. But as somebody who has now recently achieved a lot of their childhood dreams, I can tell you that it is 100% real. This video will go into exactly how I trained my mind to become rich and how I was able to manifest the exact life I wanted. I just finished up my trading day, so let's go for a little ride. What's up everyone? We're in the car. I just picked up this Lamborghini Urus on Wednesday. It's currently Monday, so I've only had this car for a few days. I've been having a lot of fun. This car is super fast and it's fun. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I was able to get this. And more importantly, how my mindset played a huge factor in my ability to buy this. To understand my mindset and how it contributed to my success, you first have to understand a little bit about my story. I grew up in a middle-class family. We were always comfortable, but we did not have a ton of money. We didn't have expensive cars, and we didn't really go to fancy vacations or anything like that. But I did grow up around money. A lot of my friends had a lot of money, and the school I went to was a private school, so most of the kids at my school were very, very rich. I didn't really understand or notice this until I was about 14, 15 years old, because when I was super young, I just knew that people had super fast cars, and I didn't. But when I was older, I was able to kind of see, okay, these people are wealthy, and I am not wealthy. I remember one time I walked into my friend's garage and I added up how much all of his cars cost, and I was like, holy shit, his garage alone is worth much more than our entire net worth. This gave me a feeling in my stomach that made me feel kind of insignificant. I'm gonna be honest, it hurt. Ever since I was really, really young, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been, selling fidget spinners or starting some sort of business to make money. And when I started getting older and I started really seeing how much wealth some people had, I became obsessed with becoming rich. Let me be very clear. I did not become rich because I wanted this. I became rich because I wanted the ability to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and provide my family and those I love with whatever they need. Early on in my journey, something I struggled with a lot was confidence. I would never really feel like I deserved these things. I'd be working super hard and I'd be making money, but I would look at the Ferraris, I'd look at the Lamborghinis, and I'd say, I don't know if that's something that I can get. Other people have it, but I don't really know if it's something for me. During this time, I was working as a busboy at a restaurant. I was trading on the side as well. Once I started to learn how to trade and I realized that trading could actually make me a lot of money, I started to understand that this life was not only something that I could dream of, but something that I could actually do. I then dedicated every single waking hour of my time towards achieving this life. Something that I had to do was condition my brain for success. I had to look at these cars and these houses and all these symbols of luxury, not as something that other people have, but as something that I can have later in my journey. These items were not something that I was striving for, but they were just a result of my hard work and what I would create. I made a conscious effort to go to the nicest restaurants, always be around nice cars, and always hang around rich people. The reason I did this is because I needed myself to feel like I am worthy of success and that I deserve success. Once I started meeting and talking to a lot of these rich people, I realized that they were pretty similar to me. They wanted freedom and they liked building things. When I would ask the parents of my wealthy friends how they became rich, they would tell me two main things. The first thing was to build a business, and the second thing was to invest and understand the markets. This gave me a lot of confidence that trading was a real thing and that I could actually earn money doing it. So like I said, I was literally spending every waking hour learning how to trade and practicing trading. The other main thing I was doing, and that I highly recommend you do, is to surround yourself with luxury and surround yourself with nice items. This does not mean you have to spend a bunch of money. Every time I say this, people go, well, I don't have that much money. I didn't have money either, guys. I was working as a busboy. I was making like $2,000 a month. But every single weekend, I would go to the Ritz-Carlton and I would have a breakfast. This breakfast would only cost me, $30, $40, which is obviously a little bit more expensive than the average breakfast. But this breakfast surrounded me with luxury. It had me feel like I was worthy of this success. Every single time I would go to breakfast, I would see Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, and Ferraris in the valet line. And I would tell myself, I'm going to be one of those cars parked out there one day. And now I am. I would also always ask the parents of my friends if I could sit inside their cars and look around at their cars. This might seem weird, but I promise you, this helped me so much along my journey. One of my friend's dads had a Bugatti Chiron. That's a $4 million car, guys. And most people who are buying these cars at this level are paying for these things in cash. I remember asking my friend's dad if I could sit inside this car, and I was super nervous thinking he was going to say no. He said sure and handed me the key. So here I was, a young kid, literally sitting inside of a fucking insane car. And the only thing that I was thinking was, this is awesome, but I need mine now. I felt worthy of the car. I was sitting inside, I was feeling the leather, I was revving the engine. And notice, it wasn't necessarily the item that I was manifesting, but it was the feeling, it was the emotion, it was the feeling of being inside something that is luxury, that is awesome, and that is crafted with the finest materials known to man. All of these luxury cars have a certain smell to them. If you've ever been in a Lamborghini, Ferrari, Rolls Royce, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I literally became obsessed with this smell, guys. You do not understand how seriously I took this manifesting. What I was really manifesting was abundance. I was manifesting being able to walk into the store and buy whatever I wanted without thinking about it. But keep in mind, it wasn't just the manifesting that got me here, it was the actions. The other thing I did, and that I highly, highly recommend you do, is figure out what the most productive day for you looks like. For me, this was to wake up and literally just work for the first 8 hours of my day. I would take a few breaks here and there to read or, watch a YouTube video, but I was working. Your manifestations and your dream life will not come without the work. Manifestation is extremely important, but you also need to back it up with a good work ethic. The other thing that helped me a ton, and this definitely started when I was hanging out with my rich friends, was understanding that all this stuff is relatively normal and possible. There are a lot of rich people in this world. When I didn't have money, I didn't really think that way. I thought that there were only a few rich people and you had to be super lucky to be rich. But now, as somebody who has a lot of money, there are a lot of rich people. There's levels to this game, guys. I was just talking to one of my friends who spent just about $100 million on property in Miami. So now, even though I have the Lambo and I have the freedom, I'm still always striving to be the best version of myself. And I'm striving for more abundance and a better life every single day. Something that also helped me a lot was thinking of my future self. A lot of times it can be hard to get motivation when you're literally just sitting there grinding day after day. This is because you're stuck in the present moment and you're kind of trapped in all these day-to-day battles and little issues that you face every day. The key to greatness is not just 1 or 2 days of hard work, it's consistent hard work and consistent discipline. Something I wish I would have told my younger self is that there is a lag effect between your years of hard work and when you see success. When I first got started, I thought that I would do 1 or 2 years of hard work and then immediately see success. I've been on this entrepreneurial journey pretty much since I was a little boy, and I've been on this trading journey for the last 5 years. When I buy things like this, it just shows me that dreams are possible. For you, this could be something entirely different. You might want a boat, you might want a house, you might want, a dream vacation. I'm gonna get real here for a second, guys. Comparison is the thief of joy, but comparison can also help motivate you. So you have to find this interesting balance, and here's how I found the balance. When I was on my journey, I was looking at my journey and I was saying, okay, I'm not where I want to be right now, but when I am where I want to be, here's what it's gonna look like. So I was looking at the people with the Lambos, I was looking at the people that were spending all this money, that were enjoying their life, and I wasn't necessarily comparing myself to them, but I was using them as an example of what I was gonna be able to become if I kept working hard. I highly recommend that you do the same thing. Also, if you're on your journey and if you're in your grinding phase, part of you needs to embrace and love that struggle. Every single morning when I wake up, I am excited to work. I love what I do. Sometimes I hate sleeping, and I find it hard to sleep because sometimes I'm honestly just working or reading or just doing something. This passion is what has fueled me to be able to get things like this. Because most people look at work as a chore, something that they don't want to do, but I look at work as something that I love to do and that I get up excited to do every single day. If you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. Although you're working, it's not going to feel like work because you actually enjoy it. So it will just feel like doing something that you enjoy and making a lot of money from it. The only reason that I'm able to enjoy this is because I did not have this when I was younger. If I was born into a super rich family and I was just given Lambos and Ferraris and all this stuff, I would not have any appreciation for this at all. I know this because I've seen this happen to people. The reason that this thing is so fun is because I'm able to look at the steering wheel and say, I'm in a Lamborghini. I remember when I was not in a Lamborghini and when I was in a cheap, broken down car that all my friends were making fun of. So it's less about comparison, but it's more about perspective, because I'm not comparing myself to the old version of myself, but I'm kind of zooming out and viewing it from a large perspective and saying, okay, that was me at that point in my journey, this is me at this point in my journey, and now I'm striving towards the next point in my journey. The last thing I'm going to leave you guys with, and I think the most important thing, is that you need to have an unshakable amount of confidence in your own ability to achieve your dreams. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will believe in you. I was always ridiculously ambitious. I would always tell people that I will own this car before I'm this age. I will do this before I'm this age. And people would look at me like I'm fucking crazy. And I might be fucking crazy, but it's helped me achieve my goals. You have to be kind of delusional to achieve these big goals. Somebody should ask you what your goal is, and you should tell them, and they should look at you and be like, really? What? Be a little more realistic. I am here to tell you that you should be as unrealistic and as delusional as you can possibly be. Also, if you set super small goals for yourself, it's really easy to hit them. So you can kind of get this little dopamine hit of, oh, I hit my goal, even though it was a really easy goal that you kind of knew you were going to be able to hit. You should set huge, huge goals for yourself. So even if you fall short, you're still much farther ahead than you would be if you set small goals. One of my favorite quotes goes like this: our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate or not good enough. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. What this quote is saying is that most people are not afraid of failing or not being good enough, but they are afraid of being the absolute best version of themselves and shining so bright that they might piss off some people. I'm here to tell you guys, when you chase your dreams, you're gonna piss off some people. When I was young and I saw people driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris, I got super pissed off. But the difference between me and most people is I use this anger to fuel myself. I did not use this anger to hate. One thing about me is I will never hate on anybody. Hate is negative energy. When you're hating on somebody, you're literally putting negative energy out into the world that's going to come back into your life. It's okay if you're watching this right now and you're pissed off that I have this and you don't. In fact, you should be kind of pissed off. Use this anger as motivation and fuel to work hard and to accomplish your dreams. Do not use this anger to go comment rental or some weird thing. All of the people that you see hating on people in Instagram comments are extremely miserable and unhappy with their own life. They are so mad and so angry with their own life that they have to take their anger out by commenting on other people's posts. I don't know anybody who's more successful than me that is hating on me. And you probably don't either. If you're somebody who's chasing your dreams, you've probably received a few haters or a few people telling you that, this isn't going to work or that's not going to happen. And they're probably not more successful than you or more successful than you want to be. You might be a young person and you might say, okay, well, my dad or my mom has more money than me. But do they have more money than you want to have? Is their net worth where you want to be in 10 years or is it below? It's likely below. So don't listen to people's advice if they don't have the life that you want. My biggest point with this video, guys, is to just tell you that you have to see it in your mind and you have to see it so clearly that other people think you're crazy. And then once you see it, you have to do the work every single day to back up that vision. If you do that, this and everything you want is yours. If you'd like to join my community where you can trade with me, learn how to trade, and talk to me, you can join using the link in the description of this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon.